This is the Cholo News Report for Thursday 22 March 2018. The Syrian government and rebel forces reach an agreement to allow 7,500 people to evacuate from rebel-held Harasta, eastern Ghouta. Thousands of Syrian fighters and their relatives will be evacuated from Harasta, a besieged town in eastern Ghouta, to an opposition-held province in northern Syria, state media and a rebel group have said. Evacuation for families who want to leave will begin tomorrow at 7 a.m., Month Affairs, spokesperson for the Oralshan group, which holds Harasta, said in a statement on Wednesday. Families who want to stay in Harasta will be given guarantees by the Syrian government and the Russians that no harm will come to them, and that the city will not be subjected to displacement or demographic change, Fairs said. A Eurocopter 120 helicopter carrying 5 people crashes into the sea near Hardy Reef off the Whitsunday Islands, Queensland, Australia. 2 people are killed. Police and other emergency service vessels headed to Hardy Reef, with the crash site about 65 kilometers northeast of the Whitsundays. The Crown Prosecution Service charges pilot Andrew Hill with 11 counts of manslaughter by gross negligence, and 1 count of endangering an aircraft, over an accident at Shoreham Air Show in England. In accordance with the Code for Crown Prosecutors, I have considered whether there is sufficient evidence to charge Mr. Hill with any offence, and if so whether it is in the public interest to do so. I have also authorised a further charge against Mr. Hill of endangering an aircraft, contrary to Article 137 of the Air Navigation Order, 2009. Police have spent more than 2 years investigating the tragedy which was caused when Mr. Hill crashed onto the A-27 during a failed loop-the-loop stunt. Israel admits for the first time that it carried out an airstrike on a suspected nuclear reactor in Deir ez-zor Governorate, Syria, on 6 September 2007. The strike allegedly killed 10 North Korean workers. The Israeli military described in detail events leading up to the night of September 56, 2007, in which, it said, 8 warplanes, F-16s, and F-15s, carried out the mission after taking off from the Rayman and Hatzerim air bases. The leaders of 44 African Union states signed an agreement in Kigali, Rwanda, to create the African Continental Free Trade Area. It is hoped the deal will come into force within 6 months, and increase prosperity for 1.2 billion Africans. But 10 countries, including Nigeria, have refused to sign the deal, and it will need to be ratified by all the signatories' national parliaments before the bloc becomes a reality. One is the relatively low level of manufacturing that takes place on a continent where trade often means selling raw materials to the outside world. Russia holds a briefing on the case for all foreign diplomats in Moscow, where it accuses the United Kingdom of withholding evidence. Senior Russian diplomatic and military officials have accused the UK of hiding and possibly planning to destroy evidence in the investigation into the Salisbury nerve agent attack. Britain says they were poisoned with a nerve agent known as Novichok, and has blamed Russia for the attack, but Moscow has fiercely denied any involvement. Yumakov also suggested that Russia may not accept the conclusions of an investigation by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons as fact.